Andrea Giles, and you're listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, episode number 75, How to Know You're Healing. Hello, and welcome to the Heal from Infidelity podcast, where courageous women learn not only to heal from their spouse's betrayal, but to become the boldest, truest, most decisive, and confident versions of themselves ever. If you know there's more for you than the life you're currently living, but don't quite know how to get there, you are in the right place. Stick around to learn how to create a life that will knock your own socks off. Is it possible? It is, and I'm here to show you how. I'm your host, Andrea Giles. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hello, everybody. It's so good to be back. I took some time off. I took off the month of January and, to be fair, the first week of February. And I'm back, and I'm really, really happy to be back. So I said in a little January announcement that some circumstances had come up that were proving to be pretty hard and that I needed some time to spend with myself and work through some things. And that is true. So in addition to having a baby, she's 2 months old now, a lot of circumstances stacked up at the same time. And without going into details, they have been pretty tough, and lots of them at the same time. And so it has taken a big toll on me. And you combine sleep deprivation with some hard stuff and heavy emotions. And I have really needed this time to just process some emotion, just like I tell you to do on my podcast, to process some emotion, to feel some things, to work through some things, to be with myself. And so I have appreciated the time away, and I am very much appreciating being back. I had such a good time just preparing this episode and thinking about all of you and getting back to work. So I am grateful to be here, and let's dive in. So today I'm going to talk to you about ways to know that you are healing and progressing. Now, healing is not measurable in the way that we think of measuring things. So, like if somebody has a goal to lose weight, that's easy to measure, right? You either have lost weight or you haven't. You can step on a scale and find out. Same with money earned. Like if you want to earn a certain amount of money, that's easy to know if you've hit your goal or not, right? Or miles run or words written, things like that. With progression and healing, it's a little bit harder to measure. So I'm going to give you some ways that you can measure your own healing, okay? First of all, healing from what? Although infidelity is not a wound that you can see on the outside, it is most definitely a wound. I think you would agree with me. It is a heart wound. The world that we thought was not. Our sense of safety is often deeply shaken because the person we have given the most trust to has betrayed that trust. It can often even stir up the pot of old family of origin wounds. It can kind of bring some of those things to the surface. Now, I say those things not to bring up pain, but to tell you you are normal in experiencing pain, uncertainty, fear, doubt, anger, grief, all of it. And sometimes all in one day, and sometimes all in 1 hour. It's easy to feel a little bit like a crazy person. So before I dive into what these three different measurable things are to track your healing and your progression, I want to talk a bit about why it is so important to make your own healing a priority. After infidelity, there are more options than just leaving or staying. Sometimes we are left. Sometimes we stay, but neither partner does the work of healing and restoring the marriage. So they stay in a fractured, unhealed marriage where often resentment and contempt are rampant. Those wounds, they fester, and it affects every other aspect of their life, because relationships are known to be a key indicator for happiness in all areas of your life. So it bleeds over into other aspects of your life. Some people leave the marriage, but don't do the work of healing. They stay in a perpetual place of feeling victimized. And as the saying goes, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Years can go by and they can be stuck in a seemingly endless pattern of replaying past hurts as if they happened yesterday. They may embark in new relationships, but the old, unhealed wounds will find their way into the new relationship until they are heard and seen and healed. So to move forward, we must heal. I know it can seem unfair to have to heal from a wound and give attention and nurturing and care to a wound that you did not inflict upon yourself. It was handed to you. It was not invited or asked for. What I can say is that by making a conscious effort at healing, it can benefit every aspect of your life, as you will likely have more self-awareness and tools than you did before the infidelity. It is a worthwhile endeavor that will yield good fruit if you allow. So today, I want to give you a few specific ways to know if you are in fact making progress in your healing journey. All right, here we go. Number 1, you have more time between stimulus and response. So I want to ask if you've heard of Viktor Frankl. He wrote one of my favorite books. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. Viktor Frankl was a Holocaust survivor, and although he experienced unimaginable horrors, he understood that he still had choices. Here are a couple of his most famous quotes. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Another is, the one thing you can't take away from me is the way I choose to respond to what you do to me. The last of one's freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance. But the one I want to focus on, the quote by Viktor Frankl that I want to focus on today is this. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. I love that. I'm going to say it one more time. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Okay, so let's talk about that space. You have heard me talk before about this space as an opportunity to pause and feel our emotions. Now, it is much easier said than done, okay? In the last month, I hired a new one-on-one coach for myself. I am a coach. I have a coach. I will always have a coach because just like you, I have blind spots. I have things that I can't see. So I hired a new one-on-one coach, and I've had a few sessions with her. And in one of the sessions, I told her about an incident with one of my kids that happened. And she asked me a question. She said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how emotional were you? Like how emotionally charged were you? How strong were your feelings? And I said, I was at a 9. And I had said something to this kid when I was at a 9. She said to me, I want you to try only responding when you are a 5 or lower. Your words will be different. Your thoughts and feelings will be different. Okay. So I just want to say, my friends, I do the same work you do. Okay. I have gotten better and better at increasing that space between stimulus and response. But guess what? I still have to work on it just like you. Okay. So she also reminded me that when we go into a conversation like at a 9, often that is what's going to be mirrored back to us. They will pick up on our energy and that will be given right back, right? Anyway, so you know that you are healing when there's a wider space between stimulus and response. How does this mean you're healing? So initially, our nervous systems are highly, highly activated. They're on alert all the time. We're watching our backs. There's an anxious alertness. When highly activated, we are often very highly reactive. So when we start to slow the nervous system, we are able to grow that space between stimulus and response. The ability to do that means that your nervous system is settling down, which means you are healing. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, now on to number 2. Less intense emotions overall. Okay, so for most people, when they first find out about their partner's infidelity, they have intense emotions like being slammed with waves, just bam, like big, big, powerful waves that just knock you over. It can feel like you're drowning. Okay. This is, although it's hard, right? This is actually very healthy. This is, as I've talked about in past episodes, called clean pain. It is useful, it is necessary. To really heal, those powerful emotions must be felt and processed. Now, it can be any kind of emotion: grief, anger, hurt, fear, anything. Okay. But it's important that it is all felt all the way through, much like riding an intense wave. It comes, it's massive. You might feel like you're going to drown. You might feel like you're going to die, but you hang in it and you allow yourself to go through it. You allow it to go through you. You allow this emotion to ride in your body, okay, until it leaves, and it does leave. When you are healing from infidelity, those waves of emotion become less acute because you already allowed yourself to process them. They become less severe. Okay, it still feels like negative emotion, but it doesn't feel like it's going to swallow you whole. It's less intense. Okay, you might still feel them. You might still feel them regularly. But I want you to notice if what you are feeling is maybe different than when you first found out, if it's maybe a little bit less intense. Now, I want to be clear on something, okay? This is not the same as buffering emotions so you don't have to feel them. As a reminder, buffering is when we don't want to feel a certain way, so we do something to feel an emotion that feels better. So, for example, if we start to feel pain of some sort, buffering is where we go do something else, like eat something, go shopping online, all kinds of things to feel a different emotion, get a quick hit of dopamine, something like that, so we don't have to feel the discomfort or pain, okay? That is not what I'm talking about. We are not numbing out. We are openly embracing the whole experience, saying, this is life. Apparently, this is what I need to feel right now. How do I know that? Because it's what I'm feeling. This is what I need to process. As we allow ourselves to be human beings, having the human experience, it lends itself to healing. Our bodies and our minds and all of us, we are meant to heal, my friends. We are meant to progress. We are meant to grow. I mean, just biologically, I think it's so cool. Just the science behind how fast our cells recreate themselves. We are meant to grow. We are not meant to stay still. And our emotions do the same thing if we let them. We're carving out space for growth and new emotions when we allow ourselves to have the full experience that we're having. It's much like a wildfire that's burning down a forest. It lends itself to brand new growth, and it's a necessary part of nature. So as you are healing, please notice that although you may still experience a lot of negative emotion, as you continue on the healing process, it is less intense. It doesn't knock you over, and you're likely feeling other feelings too, like hope, encouragement, love, compassion, etc. Okay, now on to number 3. Triggers are less triggering. Okay, let me paint you a little scenario. Early on, there may be many things that feel triggering. By triggering, I mean they bring up a response in your body where maybe your heart races, You may feel sweaty. You may want to cry or yell, etc. Okay, so let's say that you're cruising down the road and a song comes on the radio that reminds you of something with your partner that betrayed your trust, that it reminds you of something involving them and the infidelity. Okay, initially, it may be very, very triggering. It may throw you into a deep, dark hole. You may feel very scared. You may feel very shaky. You might feel sweaty, have physical symptoms. You might feel like throwing up. Okay. As you heal and as you lean into those triggers and allow yourself to work through them, allow them, you will have a time where you're driving down the road and that same song comes on and you are not triggered by it. Or if you are, it is not nearly as intense as it was before. It might be just a little bit uncomfortable, like, oh, that's right. Oh, this doesn't feel great. But it is not the same experience. The point is, it will not have the same power over you that it initially did. I am a big believer in moving toward triggers rather than avoiding them for this very reason. You get to show those triggers who's boss. Okay, so you're not tiptoeing around in life waiting to try to avoid anything that may feel intense, right? You're not just, watching and going, I can't talk to that person or I can't listen to that station. They might play a song that, you're living your life. You're living your life rather than trying to avoid things, okay? So I want you to think for a minute of something that in the past may have been triggering to you. Now, I want you to do this exercise. Okay. I want you to pause this if you need to, or listen, and then take time today to just ponder on this. What is something that was triggering to you that is no longer triggering? I want you to find it. Okay. Find it. Maybe it's a person that you run into. Maybe it is being in a specific public place where you know they were with the other person. Any number of things, okay? I want you to notice how that same place or thing no longer has power over you, okay? I want you to find that thing because this is proof to you that you're making progress. You are healing. Now, I want to be clear on something. Just because you have setbacks does not mean you are not healing. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little analogy. I may have used it before. So it's like climbing a mountain. Okay, you look at the bottom, you have your tools, you have your backpack, you have your water, and up you go. Okay, the steeper you go, the harder it gets to breathe, right? You get tired, your muscles get tired. Okay, you might fall and scrape your knee. You're moving up the mountain. Now, let's say you get to one part of the mountain and stop to rest. You might need to give yourself some time to acclimate to the different oxygen level here. That's okay. Okay. Doesn't matter. It's not a sprint. You don't have to sprint up the mountain. Okay. You can still see where you're going. And guess what? You can still pause and see the view from how far you have come. Okay. And then you can get back up and go back up. And as you go, it's going to get harder to breathe again. And you're going to have to stop and acclimate. Okay. Your healing journey is just like that. You might have times where it feels hard to breathe. You might have times where it feels really intense. It does not mean that you are not progressing. It means that you are climbing that mountain and reaching different summits and that you are allowing yourself to acclimate to that new place. It does not mean that you're going to the bottom of that mountain. Okay? You may feel some intense emotions at times, but notice that you likely will not stay in that space for nearly as long as you have in the past. You will keep moving. You'll feel the wave wash over you. You will allow it to move through your body and you will move forward. And as you continue to heal, you will take steps forward that you know will likely bring up emotion, but you will lean into them anyway. It's like leaning into a difficult conversation or leaning into anniversaries, things like that, knowing that they might be hard, but you're leaning in anyway rather than avoiding them. Okay. Also, I want to point out that healing does not mean that you have your decision made if you're staying or going. In fact, I have found that most people are able to make much clearer and grounded decisions as they heal. The decisions become easier because they are able to look at them more objectively. Okay? As you heal, you become less emotional and more logical. Okay? So I want you to gauge where you are, and please notice your growth. Please see how far you have come. I promise you are doing better than you think you are. You are experiencing everything right on time. It is all working for you. It's all conspiring in your favor. I promise you. Okay, I know it doesn't feel that way when you're in it. Sure does not feel like it's working for you. It feels very much like it's working against you, right? But I want to remind you that this too, my friends, is an opportunity for growth. It's an opportunity to show what you are made of. You are made of good things. You're made of strength and love and diligence and perseverance and all the good things. And you will get through this too. Okay, please take time to notice how far you've come. Now, to wrap this up, I just want to send you so much love and tell you how grateful I have been for the many of you who have sent me messages, emails, Instagram messages, sending love, sending congratulations. Thank you so much. And I'm still working through responding. If you haven't heard back, I'm working on it. It's coming. But please know how much I have appreciated it. It's meant a lot. And just as a little update, my little baby girl is just the joy of my life right now. It's a reminder to me how the things in life that are the most surprising, that feel the most difficult, can turn out to be some of your greatest blessings. I think you might recall when I first found out, I was totally in shock. Last year was a hard year, knowing that my life was going to change. I've been a mother for 23 years, and I started over. And I look at that little girl, and I can't believe she's mine, and she's perfect. She's so perfect. She's just getting to the age where she smiles at me and tries to talk, and it's so cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I'm exhausted. Shit, see the bags under my eyes, but I'm a happy mama. And I can't believe what a joy she's been. And even though these last couple months have been some of the most intense that I've experienced in a while, she has been a delight and a joy and a massive comfort as I have navigated my own emotions. So thank you for the congrats. Thank you for the kind words. And I'm really happy to be back. I hope to hear from some of you. Feel free to review my podcast. Let the world know what you think so others can easily find it and know what they're looking at. And I will be back next week with another episode. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Heal from Infidelity podcast. If you would like to be kept in the know about upcoming free classes, new podcast episodes, and other ways of working with me, go subscribe to my weekly email. You can subscribe at AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. Again, it's AndreaGiles.com/lies-about-infidelity/. I will see you next time.